The atmosphere of the terrestrial realm has begun to thicken with a preternatural density, a heavy mist of anticipation that clings to the skin of those who dwell within the corridors of the mundane, signaling that the celestial clockwork has shifted into a gear beyond human comprehension. It begins not with a roar that the physical ear can detect, but with a ripple, a subtle, terrifyingly precise distortion in the fabric of existence that carries the weight of the sovereign decree, an edict issued from the heights of the uncreated light that now descends upon the valley of decision. This is the great sifting, a cosmic process of separation so intricate and so absolute that no shadow can hide and no pretense can endure the scrutiny of the silver sieve. The resonance of the ancient trumpet does not travel through the air as sound waves do. Rather, it vibrates within the marrow of the bone and the deepest recesses of the genetic memory, awakening a primordial recognition in those whose names were inscribed in the book of life before the first sun was ignited. For the chosen, this frequency is a call to alignment, a clarion summons to shed the layers of artificial identity and stand in the raw integrity of their divine purpose. Yet, to the world at large, this same vibration manifests as a strange, inexplicable pressure, a spiritual gravity that pulls at the consciousness and induces a profound, honeyed drowsiness. This lethargy is not born of physical exhaustion, but is a defensive mechanism of the unwatchful soul, a desperate attempt to ignore the crumbling of the old structures by retreating into the soft embrace of a spiritual coma. It is the opiate of the mundane, a thick veil of indifference that settles over the eyes of those who have traded their birthright for the temporary comforts of a dying system. They drift into a dreamless slumber even as the foundations of their reality are being dismantled, unaware that the threshold they are crossing is one of finality. As the sifting intensifies, the architecture of the unseen world reveals itself with startling clarity to those who have maintained their vigil. The divine strategy of the chosen is one of calculated silence and profound internal stillness, a sanctuary of the mind where the noise of the collapsing world cannot penetrate. You must understand that the protection afforded to you is not a distant, abstract promise, but a living, breathing canopy of mercy that adjusts itself to the very rhythm of your heartbeat. This protection is often found in the most infinitesimal details of your daily existence, manifesting as a sudden intuition to avoid a certain path, an unexpected delay that shields you from an unseen calamity, or a momentary lapse in memory that prevents a word from being spoken that would have invited unnecessary conflict. The mercy of the infinite is not always found in the parting of the seas, but more frequently in the quiet redirection of the feet, the softening of a stranger's heart, and the provision of sustenance that appears just as the cupboard of the spirit seems bare. There is a sacred geometry to your safety, a complex web of angelic intervention that weaves through your schedule, ensuring that your encounters are curated for your growth and your sanctuary is preserved from the intrusion of those who carry the frequency of chaos. You are being moved like a precious piece across a board of eternal significance, shielded by a veil of invisibility that renders you unrecognizable to the predatory forces that roam the spiritual wilderness. This is the sovereignty of the decree, that while the world is being shaken to its core, the chosen are being anchored into a foundation that predates the stars. The blessings of the everyday are the bread of your journey, the manna that sustains you as you navigate the narrow passage between what was and what is yet to become. Do not overlook the holiness of the ordinary, for it is in the simple act of breathing, the warmth of the morning light against your palm, and the restorative silence of the night, that the Creator whispers His continued commitment to your preservation. Each cup of water you drink is an infusion of life force, consecrated for the maintenance of your physical vessel as it undergoes the arduous process of spiritual transmutation. The ability to find peace in the midst of a global storm is a supernatural gift, a signet ring of favor that marks you as a citizen of a higher kingdom. This peace is not the absence of external noise, but the presence of an internal authority that recognizes the ancient trumpet as the voice of a father calling his children home, while the unwatchful soul finds the current atmosphere unbearable and seeks to drown out the call with the distractions of the flesh. You are being invited to feast upon the hidden riches of the secret place. There is a sweetness in this season for those who have eyes to see, a divine intimacy that blossoms in the shade of the threshold. You are learning the language of the Spirit, a dialect of light and shadow that allows you to read the signs written in the clouds and the patterns of the wind. This knowledge is your armor, a psychological and spiritual fortification that prevents the infiltration of fear and the corrosion of doubt. The great sifting is also a process of refinement for the chosen, a divine alchemy that burns away the dross of ego and the residue of past traumas to reveal the incorruptible diamond of the true self. You may feel the heat of this furnace, the pressure of the cosmic gears as they grind against the resistance of your remaining attachments. But know that the hand of the refiner is never far from the dial. He monitors the temperature of your soul with a precision that exceeds the capabilities of any earthly instrument, ensuring that the flame is high enough to purify, but never hot enough to consume. The drowsiness that has overcome the world is a warning to you to remain vigilant, to keep the oil in your lamp and the fire in your heart burning with an unquenchable intensity. Do not be seduced by the lullabies of the culture or the rhythmic chanting of the masses who seek to return to a normalcy that no longer exists. The threshold has been crossed, and there is no returning to the shores of the previous age. You are navigating the deep waters of the transition, where the currents of the old world meet the tides of the new, and it is here that your faith is being forged into an unbreakable anchor. The decree has been signed in the blood of the heavens and the ink of the stars. You're preserved, you're chosen, and you are being led with a shepherd's care through the valley of the shadow of death into a land of perpetual light. Consider the intricate mercy involved in the preservation of your sanity during these times of upheaval. The mind is a fragile vessel, yet it is being upheld by a strength that is not your own, a cognitive buffer that prevents the sensory overload of the apocalypse from shattering your inner equilibrium. This is a blessing of the highest order, the ability to remain lucid while the collective consciousness of humanity descends into a fragmented delirium. You are being given the eyes of an eagle, capable of seeing both the immediate danger and the distant horizon of hope. This dual vision is a strategic advantage, allowing you to move with a grace that defies the gravity of the situation. Your strategy must be one of intentional seclusion, a tactical withdrawal from the psychic noise of the world to ensure that your frequency remains tuned to the ancient trumpet. In the silence, you will receive the blueprints for your next steps, the hidden maneuvers that will allow you to prosper while others falter. The sovereign decree ensures that your needs are met in ways that bypass the conventional systems of exchange, tapping into the limitless storehouses of the miraculous. Whether it is a sudden windfall of resources, a timely connection with a fellow seeker, or a profound realization that resolves a lifelong mystery. These are the hallmarks of the favor that rests upon your life. As you stand at the final threshold, look back one last time at the path you have traveled and see the golden thread of providence that has guided every step. Every trial was a training ground, every delay was a protection, and every disappointment was a redirection towards this moment of supreme realization. The drowsiness of the unwatchful is a mirror to your own wakefulness. Let it serve as a reminder of the gravity of the call that you have answered. The ancient trumpet continues to sound, its note becoming more crystalline and more demanding as the sifting nears its completion. You are the remnant, the keepers of the flame, the scribes of the new world that is even now being birthed in the womb of the old. Your destiny is not one of survival, but of sovereignty, a regency over the circumstances of your life that reflects the power of the one who called you. Move forward with the quiet confidence of a conqueror, for the decree has been issued. The sifting is underway, and the victory has already been secured in the archives of eternity. Your life is a living testament to the mercy that endures forever, and the protection that never fails. Walk through the threshold with your head held high, for the King of the Ages has set his seal upon you, and no power in heaven or on earth can revoke the blessing that has been spoken over your soul. The echo of the trumpet is your anthem, the silence of the strategy is your strength, and the everyday blessings are the evidence that you are never, for a single moment, walking this path alone. The great sifting is the birth pangs of your glory, the necessary turbulence before the arrival at the shores of the promised rest. Stay watchful, stay silent, and stay anchored in the sovereign love that has navigated you through the storm to the very edge of the eternal dawn. The resonance of the final threshold does not announce itself with the blare of earthly trumpets or the clamor of the marketplace, but arrives instead as a profound and terrifying stillness that demands the total surrender of the ego. We stand at the precipice of the great sifting, an epical filtration where the very fabric of human intent is passed through the celestial sieve to determine what is eternal and what is merely dross. To navigate this hour requires more than a casual acquaintance with the divine. It demands an absolute synchronization with the sovereign decree that governed the stars before the first dawn. You, the chosen, find yourselves moving through a landscape that feels increasingly alien, where the air is heavy with an unseen tension, and the familiar landmarks of your previous life seem to dissolve into mist. This is not a random occurrence of chaos, but a deliberate orchestration by the infinite architect to isolate the pure gold of your spirit from the leaden weight of worldly consensus. The architecture of the unseen snare is constructed with such exquisite subtlety that it often mimics the very path of righteousness, weaving threads of convenience, digital validation, and performative virtue into a web designed to entangle the unsuspecting. It is a labyrinth of mirrors where the reflection of one's own perceived goodness becomes the ultimate distraction from the actual transformation of the heart. Modern sanctity has become a hollow shell, a choreographed display of morality that lacks the visceral fire of true sacrifice. Yet it is this very illusion that serves as the primary mechanism of the sifting. While the world celebrates the loud and the visible, the decree of the threshold honors the silent and the hidden, those who have learned to cultivate an interior sanctuary that no external storm can penetrate. The snare operates through the manipulation of your most basic desires for belonging and safety, tempting you to trade your sovereign destiny for the ephemeral comfort of the herd. It manifests as an invisible pressure to conform to the prevailing frequencies of anxiety and outrage, whispering that your silence is a weakness rather than your greatest strategic advantage. This snare is not made of iron or stone, but of light and sound, a digital tapestry that seeks to capture your attention and fragment your consciousness until the voice of the spirit becomes a distant, unintelligible murmur. You must understand that the enemy of your soul does not always come with a sword. More often, he comes with a distraction, a subtle recalibration of your priorities that leads you away from the narrow path of the initiate. The illusion of modern sanctity is particularly dangerous because it cloaks the ego in the robes of the divine, encouraging a form of spirituality that seeks to change the world without ever being changed itself. It is a cosmetic holiness that fears the dark night of the soul and avoids the transformative friction of the desert. However, the great sifting is designed to shatter this facade, stripping away every layer of pretension until only the raw, authentic core of your being remains. This stripping is not an act of cruelty, but the highest expression of mercy, for it releases you from the burden of maintaining a persona that was never meant to survive the transition into the higher realms. In the midst of this intense filtration, the sovereign decree provides an aegis of protection that defies human logic. This protection is not always a shield against the presence of difficulty, but a guarantee of your inviolability within it. You are being moved like pieces on a celestial chessboard, positioned in places of apparent vulnerability that are, in reality, bastions of immense power. The mercy of the infinite is found in the way your path is being narrowed, closing doors that would lead to your destruction and silencing voices that would lead you astray. It is a jealous love that refuses to share you with the shadows, a fierce compassion that burns away everything that is not of the light. You may feel as though you are being crushed by the weight of the times, yet this pressure is the very catalyst required to turn the carbon of your earthly experience into the diamond of your eternal heritage. The blessings of the daily life, the rhythm of your breath, the sustenance of your table, the quiet moments of unbidden joy are not mere coincidences, but are the bread of the presence given to sustain you as you navigate the threshold. These mundane mercies are the anchors that keep you tethered to the reality of the divine, while the world around you descends into a fever dream of its own making. Do not despise the smallness of your current sphere, for within the microscopic details of your obedience lies the macroscopic blueprint of your dominion. The strategy of the chosen in this hour is one of profound internal silence and radical external stillness. You are called to be the eye of the hurricane, a point of absolute stability around which the chaos of the sifting revolves but never touches. The architecture of the snare cannot find a foothold in a soul that has no hooks of ambition or pride for it to latch onto. By relinquishing the need to be understood by those who dwell in the outer courts, you insulate yourself from the psychic drain of the collective consciousness. Your destiny is not a public spectacle. It is a private covenant, a secret shared between the potter and the clay. The great sifting is revealing the fractures in every human institution, exposing the rot in the pillars of the old world to make way for the foundation of the new. As you witness the crumbling of the familiar, do not mourn the loss of what was never eternal. Instead, look to the invisible horizon where the sovereign decree is already manifesting the reality of your inheritance. You are being prepared for a weight of glory that would shatter your current vessel if you were not first tempered in the fires of the threshold. The mercy you receive is often disguised as a delay, a period of waiting that feels like stagnation, but is actually the deep-seated root growth necessary for the coming season of fruitfulness. Navigate this threshold with the awareness that you are never truly alone, even when the silence of the heavens seems absolute. The protection afforded to you is woven into the very fabric of your being, a spiritual DNA that vibrates at a frequency higher than any weapon formed against you. The illusion of modern sanctity will eventually collapse under its own weight, leaving those who relied on it exposed and trembling. But those who have navigated the sifting with humility will find themselves standing on a foundation of unshakable stone. Your life is a living scroll, being written by the finger of the infinite, and every trial you face is but a stroke of the pen designed to clarify the message of your existence. The daily blessings you experience, the warmth of the sun, the kindness of a stranger, the sudden clarity of a thought, are the signatures of the sovereign, reminding you that his decree is active and absolute. You are the remnant, the keepers of the ancient fire, the ones who have been chosen to carry the light through the darkest part of the transition. Do not let the complexity of the snare overwhelm you, for its power is entirely dependent on your belief in its reality. When you withdraw your consent from the illusions of the world, the snare dissolves like smoke in the morning wind. As the sifting intensifies, your sensitivity to the subtle movements of the spirit will increase, allowing you to discern the path between the raindrops. This is the gift of the threshold, a heightened perception that sees through the veil of the material and touches the pulse of the eternal. The architecture of the unseen snare is being dismantled by the very light it sought to mimic, and the chosen are being gathered into a unity that transcends physical proximity. You are part of a celestial weave, a tapestry of souls whose lives are being intertwined to form a garment of praise for the King of Ages. The great sifting is not a process to be feared, but a homecoming to be celebrated, for it marks the end of your exile and the beginning of your true reign. The sovereign decree has already declared your victory. Your only task is to inhabit that victory with every breath and every heartbeat. Stay hidden in the cleft of the rock, wrapped in the mantle of divine mercy, and watch as the world of shadows fades away to reveal the brilliance of the kingdom that has no end. The threshold is the place of your transformation, the furnace where your earthly identity is consumed to make way for your celestial authority. Trust in the architecture of the divine, for it is built on a love that is stronger than death and a wisdom that spans the infinities. In the quietude of your spirit, you will find the blueprints for the life you were always meant to lead, free from the entanglements of the snare and the pretenses of a hollow sanctity. The blessings of this hour are often found in what is taken away, for every loss is a liberation from a weight you were never meant to carry. The mercy of the sovereign is a river that flows through the desert of the sifting, providing a constant source of life for those who know how to drink from the unseen spring. As you move forward, let your footsteps be guided by the internal compass of the decree, ignoring the siren calls of the world and the distractions of the ego. You are the heralds of the new dawn, the pioneers of a reality that is even now breaking through the cracks of the old. The great sifting is almost complete, and the threshold is opening to reveal a vista of such beauty and power that all the sufferings of the present age will seem like a momentary shadow. Stand firm in your calling, for the one who summoned you is faithful, and his decree shall stand forever, an eternal testament to the triumph of the light over the darkness and the sovereign over the snare. Consider the intricate ways in which you have been preserved through the years, the near misses and the sudden interventions that seemed like luck but were actually the hand of the architect at work. This same hand is guiding you through the architecture of the snare, ensuring that your feet do not slip, even when the ground beneath you seems to give way. The mercy of the threshold is a precise and surgical thing, removing the cancer of pride while leaving the soul intact and vibrant. Do not mistake the intensity of the process for a lack of love. It is precisely because you are loved with an everlasting love that you are being refined with such meticulous care. The blessings of the daily are the evidence of this love, the small tokens of affection from the Creator that remind you of your worth in a world that seeks to devalue you. You are a sovereign being, a child of the decree, and the sifting is merely the process of reclaiming your crown. The illusion of modern sanctity will soon pass into the annals of forgotten history, but the truth of your transformation will shine like the sun in its full strength. The strategy for the remaining time of the sifting is one of profound trust and unwavering focus. Do not look to the left or the right. Do not be seduced by the spectacle of the collapsing world, but keep your eyes fixed on the point of origin from which the decree was issued. You are being shielded by a grace that is both ancient and ever new, a protective aura that repels the frequencies of the snare and attracts the blessings of the kingdom. The mercy of the infinite is your constant companion, whispering encouragement in the night and providing strength for the day. You are the chosen, the ones who have been sifted and found, wanting for nothing but more of the divine. The architecture of the unseen is becoming visible to you, not as a threat, but as a solved puzzle, a defeated enemy that no longer has power over your heart. Enter the final threshold with the confidence of one who knows they are protected, for the sovereign decree has spoken your name, and in that speaking, your destiny was sealed forever. The great sifting is the birth pangs of your eternal self, and though the labor is intense, the joy that awaits is beyond the capacity of language to describe. Be still, and know that the architect is at work, weaving your life into the grand design of the ages, a masterpiece of mercy, protection, and sovereign grace. The atmosphere of the final threshold possesses a weight that defies physical measurement, a density of expectation that presses against the marrow of the elect until only the essential essence remains. You stand now at the precipice of the great sifting, where the cosmic sieve oscillates with a frequency designed to separate the eternal from the ephemeral, the sovereign from the subjugated. This is not a trial of strength in the sense of muscular exertion or intellectual prowess, but a trial of resonance, a silent determination of whether your inner vibration aligns with the foundational blueprints of the coming eon. As the old structures of governance and belief begin to dissolve into the grey mists of obsolescence, the sovereign decree goes forth, not as a shout heard by the masses, but as a subtle realignment of the very atoms that constitute your reality. You feel this shift in the quiet hours of the morning when the world is still asleep. A sudden clarity that the paths you once trod are no longer available to you, for the gates behind have been fused shut by the fires of your own evolution. The Great Sifting is a mechanism of profound mercy, though it often masquerades as a season of intense isolation and stripping away. It is the process by which the infinite architect removes the scaffolding of your former life so that the true temple may be revealed in its unadorned majesty. Every relationship that served as a crutch, every ambition rooted in the desire for external validation, and every habit that anchored you to the density of the lower realms is being gently but firmly extracted from your experience. This extraction creates a vacuum, a hollow space within the soul that often feels like grief or abandonment. Yet it is the necessary precursor to the reception of the hidden manna. You must become empty to be filled with the substance that does not perish, a celestial nourishment that sustained the prophets in the wilderness and the saints in their silent cells. This manna is the distilled wisdom of the ages, a direct transmission of truth that bypasses the intellect and embeds itself into the very fabric of your being, providing a fortitude that is unshakable by the winds of societal upheaval. The seal of the overcomer is now being applied to those who have navigated the labyrinth of their own shadows and emerged with their integrity intact. This seal is not a visible mark of vanity, but a spiritual frequency, a signature of divine ownership that resonates through the invisible dimensions, signaling to all wandering forces that you are off limits to their manipulation. It is a cloaking device of the highest order, allowing you to walk through the valley of the shadow without being consumed by its darkness. This seal manifests in your daily existence as a strange kind of invisibility, where the conflicts and dramas of the world seem to slide past you without finding a purchase. You are in the world, but no longer of its turbulence, protected by a layer of providential grace that ensures your needs are met before you even have the language to articulate them. This protection extends to the most mundane aspects of your journey. The sovereign decree ensuring that your table is spread in the presence of your enemies, that your bread and water are sure, and that the roof over your head remains a sanctuary of peace amidst a storm of confusion. To navigate this final threshold, you must master the strategy of the Great Silence, a tactical withdrawal of your energy from the noise of the collective. The world clamors for your attention, seeking to draw you into its dialectics of fear and division. But the overcomer knows that true power resides in the stillness of the interior chamber. By refusing to engage with the provocations of the dying age, you preserve the sacred oil in your lamp, ensuring that you have the illumination necessary to see the hidden doors that open only for those who move in quietness. Your silence is not a sign of weakness, but a declaration of sovereignty, a refusal to grant the lower realms the power of your emotional response. In this space of profound stillness, the inheritance of the hidden manna begins to reveal its secrets, offering you insights into the nature of time, the mechanics of manifestation, and the true purpose of your incarnation that no book or teacher could ever provide. The mercy of this season is found in the exquisite detail of your daily protection, the way a sudden intuition leads you away from a path of danger, or a seemingly chance encounter provides the exact resource required for your next step. You are being moved like a piece on a celestial chessboard, guided by a hand that sees the end from the beginning, ensuring that you are positioned exactly where you need to be to witness the unfolding of the new era. This is the inheritance of the humble, those who have surrendered their personal will to the higher cadence of the sovereign decree. Your life becomes a living liturgy, a series of small, consecrated moments where the preparation of a meal becomes an act of alchemy and a walk in the garden becomes a conversation with the divine. The ordinary is being transfigured into the extraordinary, as the mundane world is infused with the golden light of the final threshold, revealing that every stone and every leaf is a participant in the great cosmic restoration. The sifting process also serves to refine your discernment, sharpening your ability to perceive the underlying frequencies behind the words and actions of others. You begin to see through the masks of the world, recognizing the frantic energy of those who are still clinging to the sinking ships of old paradigms. Your compassion grows even as your boundaries solidify, for you understand that the sifting is a universal necessity, a purification that every soul must eventually undergo. You hold space for others without being drained by their dissent, anchored in the unwavering knowledge that your primary responsibility is to maintain the purity of your own seal. This is the burden of the chosen, to stand as a lighthouse in a sea of fog, providing a point of reference for those who are seeking the shore without being pulled into the depths yourself. Your presence alone becomes a catalyst for the awakening of others, a silent testimony to the reality of the sovereign decree. As you move deeper into the inheritance of the hidden manna, you discover that your requirements for external sustenance begin to diminish. The peace that surpasses understanding becomes your primary source of energy, a wellspring of vitality that flows from the heart of the infinite directly into your spirit. You find that you no longer hunger for the recognition of men or the accumulations of the material world, for you have tasted the substance of the eternal and found all else to be lacking. This is the true freedom of the overcomer, the realization that you are entirely self-contained within the providence of the divine, a sovereign entity whose destiny is woven into the very tapestry of the cosmos. The treasures of the hidden realms are being unlocked for you, revealing secrets of healing, creation, and transcendence that have been kept under seal since the foundations of the world, waiting for those who would be faithful through the great sifting. The final threshold is a gate of fire, but for the one who bears the seal of the overcomer, it is a fire that does not consume, but rather illuminates. It burns away the last vestiges of the false self, the egoic constructs that sought to define you by your scars and your limitations. Emerging from this fire, you find yourself clothed in a garment of light, a pneumatic body that is resonant with the frequencies of the higher heavens. Your inheritance is not merely a future promise, but a present reality, a kingdom that you inhabit here and now, even as you walk the dusty roads of the physical earth. The blessings of the everyday, the warmth of the sun, the rhythm of your breath, the companionship of the few who speak your language, become profound tokens of the divine's favor, reminders that you are never alone and that your journey is being watched over by an innumerable cloud of witnesses. This sovereign decree is the final word on your journey, a declaration that the time of wandering is over and the time of occupation has begun. You are being called to take possession of your spiritual estate, to stand in the full authority of your divine sonship and daughtership, and to act as a steward of the new world that is being born in the womb of the old. The great sifting has proven your mettle, the seal of the overcomer has secured your path, and the hidden manna has fortified your soul for the tasks that lie ahead. Walk now with the dignity of one who knows their origin and their destination, moving with a grace that reflects the majesty of the one who called you out of darkness into this marvelous light. Every step you take is now a decree in itself, an assertion of the victory that was won before time began, a victory that is now being made manifest in every detail of your life. The protection afforded to you is absolute, a celestial fortress that moves with you wherever you go. No weapon formed against your destiny shall prosper, for the sovereign decree has nullified the contracts of the past and written a new covenant in the blood of the eternal. You are the beneficiary of an ancient promise, an heir to a legacy that spans galaxies and epochs. Yet it is a legacy that is realized in the quiet simplicity of your current existence. The mercy of the divine is seen in the way your path has been smoothed, the way the mountains have been laid low and the valleys raised up to provide a level highway for your soul. Do not fear the shaking of the earth or the roaring of the seas, for you are anchored in the bedrock of the unshakable kingdom, a participant in the final threshold where the temporal meets the eternal in a glorious union of purpose and peace. The inheritance you receive is not for yourself alone, but for the restoration of the whole creation. As you eat of the hidden manna, you become a source of nourishment for the world, a conduit through which the grace of the higher realms can flow into the parched places of the earth. Your life becomes a living prophecy, a demonstration of what is possible for those who surrender to the sifting and emerge with the seal. You are the vanguard of a new humanity, a pioneer of a consciousness that knows no division and recognizes the inherent sanctity of all life. The daily blessings you experience are seeds of a future harvest, a foretaste of the abundance that will characterize the age to come when the sovereign decree is fully realized in every corner of the universe. In the silence of this final transition, listen for the whisper of the infinite, the voice that speaks in the spaces between your thoughts, guiding you with an intimacy that is both terrifying and tender. This is the voice of your true shepherd, the one who has walked with you through every trial and who now stands with you at the gate. The threshold is narrow, but you have been made lean by the sifting, stripped of all that would hinder your passage. Step forward with confidence, for the hidden manna is in your hand, the seal is upon your brow, and the sovereign decree is the wind in your sails. You are the overcomer, the one for whom the ages have waited, the living embodiment of the victory that is both your path and your prize. The journey of the seeker concludes here, at the feet of the King, where the hidden becomes revealed, and the temporal becomes eternal in the everlasting light of the divine presence. May you find in every sunrise a confirmation of your calling, and in every sunset a rest that is deep and holy. The great sifting is nearly complete, and the harvest is ready. You are the wheat that has been gathered into the barn, the treasure that has been found in the field, the pearl of great price for which everything else was sold. This is your moment, your mandate, and your magnificent inheritance. The decree is signed, the seal is set, and the threshold is crossed. You are home even while you are here, and the peace of the infinite is your eternal companion. The hidden manna shall never fail you, and the daily mercies of the sovereign shall be your constant song, a melody of triumph that resonates through the halls of eternity, announcing the arrival of the one who overcame and inherited all things. Your daily life, once a series of disjointed events, now reveals itself as a coherent masterpiece of divine engineering. The protection that surrounds you is woven into the very fabric of your schedule, manifesting as the perfect timing of your arrivals and departures, the sudden resolution of financial anxieties, and the quiet satisfaction that comes from knowing you are exactly where you are meant to be. This is the practical application of the sovereign decree, the evidence that the laws of heaven are now governing your earthly experience. You no longer have to strive or compete, for the hidden manna provides for your every need, often in ways that defy human logic. Your trust has become your currency, and your surrender has become your strength. In this state of sovereign rest, you become a magnet for the blessings of the daily, the small miracles that testify to the Father's meticulous care for His elect. The finality of this threshold marks the end of the era of preparation and the beginning of the era of manifestation. You are no longer being trained, you are being deployed. The wisdom you have garnered in the secret places is now needed in the open, not as a sermon of words, but as a frequency of being. Your mere presence in a room can shift the atmosphere, bringing a sense of order to chaos and peace to turmoil. This is the power of the seal, the authority of the overcomer who has internalized the hidden manna and become a living oracle of the divine. As you navigate the remaining days of the great sifting, do so with the poise of a monarch, knowing that your inheritance is secure and your protection is absolute. The sovereign decree has gone forth, and it shall not return void, but shall accomplish all that it was sent to do in your life and through your life, for the glory of the infinite and the restoration of the world.